Without further ado, we will get on to the first finalists. And so we have Education Mobile. And so I'd like to welcome to the stage Ying Lang Mai.
The leading app is called the Visual Autonomy. It's a self-education app for learning human bodies. We have a free version called the Visual Autonomy Free. Currently have 2.5 million downloads already within that 2-year time. And the paid version already sold about 25,000 copies. Our business model is simple and very effective. It's using the free app to promote the pay app. So according to our own statistics, 1% of our free download will translate into paid version sales. We have several methods to promote and sell our apps. The first one I already talked about is using the free apps. So we also continue to improve our app based on user feedback. So it is customer-driven development. And we try to optimize, maximize the user group. We not only want medical professionals to use it, also school kids, lawyers dealing with personal injuries, instructors, fitness instructors want to learn the muscle functions. We move to the next chapter, which is more exciting. We want to fast growth, and I want to turn my business into $1 million business within a couple of years. We're now looking at the social game apps. So why we do social game apps? It's very popular. Almost everybody plays, no matter whether you're young or old. So that's our profit forecast. Next year, we expect revenue go over about 100K. Thank you for listening. Any questions?
No, thanks for the pitch, and I think it's the fact that you're already on your way is absolutely fantastic.
Thanks.
What I'm trying to figure out is what is it that you're actually leveraging from where you've already been successful, revenue generating, partially profitable today to moving into something that is actually very easy for people to copy.
And also, can you comment on the social gaming, that the visual games that you're working on, wanting to develop? Have you dismissed applying that to your anatomy platforms to take your anatomy from being a reference site to being a learning, venture?
So what is the ARC project? Well, we have created an online knowledge archive built specifically for the needs of research scientists. The ARC allows users to upload, manage, and share useful information, increasing the efficiency of a research group. The latest available data shows that just over £7 billion was spent on research and development by the higher education sector here in the UK. However, only a small fraction of this research is published in peer-reviewed journals. And of this unpublished research, there's a lot of very useful information which cannot be properly utilised because of the high turnover of research staff and currently used ineffective data storage methods. By helping scientists better utilise this unpublished data, we'll help them reduce unnecessary repetition and reduce waste through the spreading of best practice. Our market research has shown us that around 70% of the people we asked agreed that the solution we're proposing could help scientists manage their research output. We therefore propose a solution that is fit for purpose at no cost to the end user. That is our positioning, and that is why we're disruptive. We therefore see the ARC as acting as a bridge between researchers and suppliers. The information uploaded to the site remains completely confidential, it's not passed on to anyone, it's safe and secure, but we use it to generate group discount deals on the specific products and reagents needed by scientists around the country, giving the suppliers that we work with scale advantages, as well as an extra sales platform and direct marketing to their customers, with an almost real-time understanding of their customer needs. Once we've validated our business model further, we'd be seeking investment in the region of £150,000 to cover the cost for salaries, marketing, site development, data storage, everything that we need to get the site up and running. Thank you very much. I look forward to your questions.
Let's kick off with a competitive question. Why doesn't Science Warehouse do this already?
Hi, it's a very interesting idea you presented, but I wonder about how sustainable it is.
So doesn't that then present a problem in the research, the rest of the research group being able to access the data that the individual has securely stored.
Okay, so just a follow-on question. So what's the problem you are trying to solve? So I understand your paying audience is different, right? So it's a two-sided model. What's the problem you're trying to solve for your researchers?
There are no specialist cardiovascular units in the whole country. And indeed, human resources are at a crisis with one doctor per 500,000 population. What is CHARS? CHARS is a social enterprise whose mission statement is to improve delivery and the standard of cardiac healthcare. Our mission is to expand cardiac services across Zambia, and our unique selling proposition is our expertise and experience that is unavailable locally. CHARS has therefore placed 3 phases in its market entry strategy. In the first phase, we offer consultation cardiac services to healthcare professionals throughout Zambia at competitive rates, thereby building on our social capital and generating our revenue to help us enter into phase 2, expand by offering mobile services throughout the capital city, which is Lusaka. So this social capital, as well as the resources, will be reinvested into our business to build a fixed unit in rural Zambia where I own a piece of land. We'll carry on expanding on the social capital and redistributing our profits. What does winning the lion's den mean for CHARS? It means that CHARS will be able to have seed funding to enter into phase 1, register a company, as well as cover some of the legal costs. In summary, ladies and gentlemen, CHARS is a social enterprise that will be the first dedicated cardiac service provider in the whole of Zambia. We'll build capacity, we'll generate social value, we'll save the government of Zambia money, as well as ultimately save lives. I would like to thank you for having us this evening. These are our teammates. This is our team, actually. Dr. Sitara Khan, Dr. Ewan Lil, there's Beth Brickham in the audience. Our mentors, Mr. Zulfi Del, and Mr. Jerry Creedon, our supervisors and UK and Zambian correspondences. Thank you very, very much for having us.
And doing consulting services at a discounted price, to me, I think is a very hard way to generate social capital, because what the price should be is really in the eyes of the market, not what you think the price in UK is.
I'm interested to know why, when the government has said it's a priority from 2011 to 2015, and we're already in 2013, that there isn't something that is already happening out there.
The follow-up question then, on the mobile unit, you plan to raise funds to be able to buy that. Were your plans to raise debt, or were your plans to raise contributions into your enterprise, or?
What are the linkages between the research carried out at King's College London and the service that CHARS is seeking to deliver?
Is there a possibility that first-year project you could really up your game and provide something that is a lot more impactful than just doing sort of consulting?
So firstly, before I tell you what the product does, I'll briefly explain to you what thrashing means for those of you who do not have an agricultural background. Thrashing is simply separating grains from stalk. So you must be thinking, what is the need for something that's not broken to fix it? Well, the methods that exist for small farmers are time consuming. With a mechanism that we have designed, they can cut down times rapidly. There's a rise in demand. With rising population, there will be always a rise in demand for the food that is required. So it's very important to, once again, emphasize on efficiency, increase the amount we can gain from the ground. So this is our design specs, which is at the moment patent pending.
Here, as you can see that from the top, the material has been inlet, and there are plates which are placed at an angle, so it doesn't chop the hay. So at the end, you get whole hay back, which farmers earn money from that. So compared to the ones which are existing in the market, we were able to achieve 10% more efficiency. Second thing, best part of our product is it is portable, so it can be moved easily in the field itself. So instead of farmers getting all the hay to one place, they can take our machines and move around in the field. Next is we have good opportunity, because big players of the market, they never look at the players who want small things. Like the people having small lands, they don't target them. So we are targeting that market area. Second is we are promising that we'll give our product in low price if even if raw material price increases. Promotion would not be done as if giving advertisement and all that stuff. We'll take our product to demonstrate in the field so that it would be easy for the farmers to see how it works, and then we'll rely on word of mouth. Next is financial plan. By third year, we'll get our break even and we'll be able to get our revenues back.
Okay, sorry guys, I'm going to have to stop you there. It's been 6 minutes.
Have you done an analysis of what is the value to the farmer and business use in terms of what would your pitch be to him?
How are you going to stop other people copying your design locally and distributing and selling in other states in India?
Your mobile device requires a power source, which the competitors don't because they're stationary. So the farmer's going to have to buy a mobile generator.
Would this machine essentially be putting those people out of work?
Sorry, sir, my question wasn't about size of market. My question was your ability with your current team size to physically achieve the kind of sales figures you're talking about.
We're historical consultants. Now, what does that mean? That means that clients come to us with their questions about history, and we answer them. Our indicative product is a 3,000-word document, but ultimately we're completely flexible in appearance, length, and format, depending on what our client will need or want. So who's going to want this service? Well, we've identified 3 prospective target markets. First of all, media production companies who are perceiving an increased demand in audiences for historically accurate and relevant dramas in television and film. Secondly, we're going to be looking at UK government agencies and non-governmental bodies who use historical research to inform the policy-making process. And thirdly, we're going to be looking at foreign services who are operating within the UK. So what does ALK offer that is truly unique? Well, first of all, our work will be completed by the most qualified available specialist. There's going to be a level of precision and research that no one can compete with. Secondly, we believe we'll be able to produce our work quickly. Thirdly, and perhaps most importantly, our work will be client-directed, and the people who hire us will receive exactly the kind of answers they desire in exactly the format they want them. Well, we've realized that there's a large team of specialists out there who are currently untapped, thousands of professional researchers who spend all their time looking into historical matters, and that's postgraduate students. So I'm going to hand you back to Ashley, who will tell you about our first client.
Yes, we're really excited. We've managed to get our first client. He is a freelance producer. We found him through our contacts at KCL, and his recent projects have been The Hollow Crown and Cranford. So, of course, his specialism is in period dramas. We've got low startup costs. We've identified a market need in 3 distinct sectors. And we've got a team of specialists, enthusiastic, willing, and available to meet client needs. So, my final point is this. A little knowledge is a business concept that was inspired and supported by KCL staff and students. We very much hope that we've inspired you to believe in us too. Thank you.
How can you ensure that there are not going to be too many competing demands on the other requirements of our hard-pushed PhD students and master's students? They still have to complete a dissertation or a thesis.
What I don't know is how many £3,000, 3,000-word, whatever projects could you manage in the period of a month?
In a situation where money is a concern for your client, they'll probably go to a Google search and have somebody sit all day and get the information that way. And if they're not too concerned about the cost because they're producing a Hollywood epic, for instance, then they'll probably employ a full-time academic consultant.
How do you propose to handle that kind of overhead that you weren't anticipating in terms of what we call rewinds, where the work comes back again, and you're back to the research, you're back to the client, and sort of that sort of stuff?
you're putting the quality bit on yourselves, which is yet another bottleneck. But what works tremendously well in academic settings is the peer review, which the Chatham House wouldn't have, I would think.
Rice is boring. Every day we eat it, we don't really consider it much beyond that. But multiply that by 3 billion people for whom it's a staple food, and you get something very much more interesting. It's the #1 source of calories for human consumption in the world, produced by 200 million farms across Asia. So India and China currently dominate the production of world's rice. And then the next 4 biggest producers are Indonesia, Bangladesh, Vietnam, and Thailand, all emerging economies and combined produce as much as China does alone. I would argue that these 6 regional neighbours should have a common strategy in facing the future challenges for rice production. Global population growth means that more rice will be required in the future. The production of rice, as shown here, has remained relatively flat across the past 10 years, while meanwhile the price has risen erratically with spikes such as this one shown in red in 2008, where the price actually doubled over a period of 6 months. Price rises such as those seen in 2008 are devastating to those who rely on rice. The knock-on effect of food insecurity in this case was food riots, political instability, and economic slowdown in parts of the world. The small scale of individual farms spread across vast geographies means that information and support is taking too long to get from the lab to the field, and that problems and circumstances faced by farmers are taking too long to reach the desks of administrators. Removing these barriers to innovation is the focus of my strategy. I've basically used a multi-level framework to suggest a new rice strategy with local, national, and international actions. The strategy will use 3 main tools: technology, rice science, and cooperation. Apps on smartphones can be used to communicate information to farmers about new methods and technologies and how to implement these, new government policies, climate forecasts, current prices, and so on. In return, the farmers can feed back their local experience with information on rice yields from different methods, give results of water quality tests, report unusual climatic changes and crop growth levels. Providing certain levels of information could be rewarded with subsidies to phone bills. The big data which will result from all of these farmers providing their data will have to be fed back either to, and the cooperation between the countries becomes vital at this point. They can either feed the information directly to their neighbours or go via a research institute, as I already mentioned.
My question is around, particularly at the national and local level, is how you coordinate this work and who pays for it.
What are the messages from your idea for the rice-growing countries to ask or give to the non-rice-growing countries?
Despite the geographical and cultural differences between them, the BRIC countries face common and pressing public health challenges. Prevalence of communicable diseases such as HIV and malaria. The pressure of dealing with these challenges has a knock-on effect on the extent of BRIC's compliance with international patent law. Disregard of patent law has negative political ramifications and can create investor uncertainty. Despite these difficulties, BRIC countries have the potential to become world leaders in public health research and provision. The university sector within BRIC is large, but has yet to fulfill its research potential. My proposal is to set up a collaborative prize fund to incentivize research into the development of medicines and medical technologies that benefit public health in the BRIC countries. This prize fund will be paid for by the national governments of BRIC and administered by a committee whose membership is comprised of a small number of scientists, epidemiologists, and policymakers. The fund will run a regular competition with prizes awarded to research that has demonstrable public health benefits. Teams of researchers across BRIC countries would apply to enter the competition, and then successful applicants would be awarded a grant to defray their research costs. After a certain period of time, the results of the research will be entered into the competition. The teams responsible for creating the product deemed by the judges to be most beneficial to public health will receive a substantial cash prize. All products of research which is supported by the fund will become the equal property of all 4 participating countries, and the benefits of that research, including any patents arising from it, must be made publicly available within BRIC. This will allow the benefits of the research to spread quickly and cheaply among the group's nearly 3 billion members. The prize money must be used for furthering public health research, and this requirement will ensure that the fund helps to create sustainable multinational research institutions within the group. Judging criteria will generally relate to how well an entry benefits public health, but they might vary between quantitative and qualitative metrics, or distinguish between short-term impact and long-term theoretical potential. The competition avoids the major problem with universal prize funds, which is that measuring the public health impact of every patentable medicine is practically difficult, if not entirely impossible. This scheme would be of global benefit for a number of reasons. Most notably, the fund will provide a model for a new form of health research, which is orientated towards global health rather than shareholder profit. Thank you.
I want to focus for a moment, if I may, on the prize fund itself. How big does it need to be in order to do the job you see for it? And which organisations might be putting in how much?
You've talked purely about the BRICS countries, but what do you see the benefit, or how would you promote the benefit to the rest of the world and sort of beyond the G20?
Soft powers is defined as the ability to get what one wants by attraction and persuasion rather than coercion or payment. Brazil and Turkey, which has come together, apart from my song, on a political issue back 2 years ago over the Iranian nuclear crisis. They may not have been very successful in coming up with a solution, but at least they tried to use their soft powers to have a political influence. This is why increasing nations are actually turning their attentions to countries like Brazil, Turkey, China, India, and other emerging and upcoming soft powers. What's specific or what's particular about these countries is that soft powers are culturally embedded in these countries to the extent that they come to be felt in our individual lives as well. First of all, I think these countries still need to wake up to their powers. And the second thing is they still have some ongoing problems in terms of human rights issues, political breakdowns, social breakdowns, corruption in some of these cases. What do I propose? I propose AAB, from Arctic to the Amazon to the Bosphorus. This is not just my proposal. This actually happened last September and then re-happened again in January in Turkey. This is Sweden, Brazil, and Turkey coming together to form a geographically unbounded coalition based on political like-mindedness aside from geographical proximity. What do? They basically strategize and they try to create a political influence for the world good. We need more countries like Sweden to step in and help countries like Turkey and Brazil who have culturally embedded soft powers to go forward with those powers. Using soft power is a creative process, and as with all creative processes, we need some guidance. What if we have the next global summit with increasing number of geographically unbounded political coalitions on a beach? We all drink some pure green tea, mediate, and dance together. Thank you very much. If you wanted to see the references, they're also here, but I'll go back here. Thanks.
The question I really have is, if you look at a BRIC country, you look at a Turkey, you look at a Mexico, you look at Indonesia, you look at a Vietnam, how do they identify what soft powers they have, and how do they sort of grasp those soft powers and apply them to their own needs, or indeed to the world's needs?
So my question is really, doesn't it require the BRIC countries to invite in a mediating power, a mediating country? And how can you actually encourage those countries to want to do that?
The next thing I want to do is invite our Vice Principal for Research and Innovation, Chris Mottershead, to come forth. And I'm now going to award the prize for the best pitch. A little knowledge. Come up.
So we finish our MA at the end of September, and then the plan is to work until Christmas, working on a little knowledge, our company.
So yeah, we're going mainstream.
The next prize we're going to look at is that for collegiality, for working together, for working in a team, for making things happen that couldn't have happened without people collaborating. And again, Chris, you get one of these, and you get certificates as well to give out. So, can the members of the team Chaz please make their way forward? I now have the joy of giving the top prize for Lion's Den Challenge this year, and the judges deliberated at quite some length over all these things, but in the end we decided that Chaz deserved it most.
I think you just couldn't imagine, like when you start from a single idea and how you got help from the organizer and the developmenters, and then see the idea like a baby growing up, and then at the end stage you have a final product which is attractive.
Now we turn to the new competition, which of course we've done this year for the first time, which is World Questions, Lion's Den Answers. And I'm going to invite our Vice Principal for International, Professor Keith Hoggart, to come forth and present. And so we had a bit of deliberation in the judging chamber, and after a while we settled and we decided that the winner of this prize would be Alex. Do come up, sir.
Well, I think it gives students a great chance to explore some of the ideas that they might have, and to test them in a situation where they will get real feedback from people who know about starting up companies and about business propositions.
Absolutely. Just believe in yourself, get the right advice from good business mentors, and then go and pitch.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's been an incredible experience. I've been doing a PhD here at King's, and it's kind of very focused on one little thing. So to be able to get away from that and learn about a field that I knew nothing about has been really, really interesting. And I would definitely recommend anyone who's kind of just got a bit of an idea to give it a go and get involved and see what they can do with it.
It gives you experience. That's vital, I suppose, in the business or even whatever your chosen field is.
You know, we see the students come in at the beginning of the year, and they've never considered getting involved in business. They have no idea what a business plan even is, and this just looks terrifying to them. And 99% of them will say, "Oh no, I'm just here to watch. I'm just here to watch." But through the course of workshops, through talking to mentors, through speaking with different guest speakers who come in, and representatives of the college, they really kind of gain confidence. They learn a lot about business, and they learn a lot about themselves and ideas that they have.
It's something that you just get in there because it's for kings, and we're kings, and let's all be a part of it and deliver our ideas, and make the whole King's portfolio look fantastic, because we are.